साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे. I welcome everyone who has come in the temple as well as who are online at Durga temple today, 21st of July. I hope everybody is enjoying the summer. So we will continue with our session on Shrimad Bhagavad Gita on chapter 2, Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya Yoga is the first one which God is explaining after Arjun was sad, Arjun was in great grief. Arjun Vishad Yoga Nama Prathama Adhyaya. And after that, after the Prathama Adhyaya, the first chapter, the second chapter in Shrimad Bhagavad Gita is immediately Sankhya Yoga. Why Sankhya Yoga? Why didn't God talk about Bhakti? Why didn't God talk about Jnana? Why did God selected the Sankhya part first? Because it is seen that in the world, most of the people are skeptical. They do not know whether there is God, whether God will help me, is there anything like a God, how it will help me, how I should be living in my life, what if I do not believe in God and still I want to live my life. All those questions are very common in the world at that time as well as today. And so the God started with the Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya Yoga doesn't talk about Bhakti. Sankhya Yoga talks about oneself and the relationship of oneself with the world. This is what the Sankhya Yoga in a nutshell. So, how to understand oneself? That one is not a material body, one is not who is consuming and enjoying through the sensual happiness. That is what the Sankhya is. So, God is now going further. God explained about all those things. And God is explaining further how to deal with it. Important part is that sometimes we know that what it is, but then we do not know how to deal with it. Especially in case of our North American meetings and everywhere, you must be hearing that it is what it is. Means you are helpless. You cannot change it. You cannot do anything other than accepting it. That is what we always say. It is what it is. So, God is not telling, God is telling us the solution. This is what it is and how to handle it. And in that process, God told that we cannot leave the world, we cannot leave our necessities as a Prakriti Dharma. Our body is going to need food, shelter, clothing, fun, enjoyment, socializing, so many things. So we will need it. To live in this world, we will need it. So how to handle it? Because that is going to create a problem to us. And that is where we were on the 48th sloka. Last time we see 48 and 49 sloka where God explained us how to get connected. And two words came into it, the yoga and the sangha. So God is telling yogastam kuru karmani sangastam sangha tyaktva dhananjaya. You get connected as a yoga, you do not get connected as a sangha. And we talked about it in detail, what is the difference between yoga and sangha. In both cases, the person is in contact with the object or the other person. But this contact, and what happens? That what type of contact we define? The contact may be physical contact, it may be psychologically contacting, it may be through one's own action in actuality, it may be the future aspirations. Yeah, somebody will be very happy imagining that, once I will save some amount of money, I will buy a car. And once there is a car, I will be going around and I will go to Niagara and all that. So even future aspiration and happiness, even if it is not in physical contact, we feel that it is great. So that is also a point of connection. And also similarly, dreams. In dreams also we get contact. We talked about this in detail. And also other people experiences. If somebody says that, I went on this hill station and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed hiking. I enjoyed swimming through the river. Then we imagine that that is a great happiness, and then we also aspire for it. So in various ways we get in contact with the objects and the people. Now, but when we talked about it last time, the yoga and the sangha difference, very, very important. Why am I even recapping it is because this is the most important. This is the entry door. This is exactly the entry door for eternal happiness. This is the entry door for eternal happiness. This entry door gives us the difference. First of all, it gives us a key. What is the key? The difference between yoga and sangha. How in both cases we are in connection with the object or the people, but in the yoga we are part of it, and in the sangha we are separate to it. Because we are separate, it becomes consumer and consumed. Whereas when we are part of it, we are living, we are in an eternal happiness, because we are part of the object. So yoga results in samatvam and sangha results in attachment. This is a big difference, and that is what we talked last time. And so that is why the samatvam brings the eternal happiness and equanimity, whereas the sangha brings greediness, misery and greed. This is the key. This is exactly the key for how to be happy in this world, even while enjoying everything what we are experiencing. This is also, in a way I always say that, this is also a kind of a misleading. Why it is misleading? Because a yogi is also seen enjoying and experiencing and behaving exactly in the same way as a non-yogi or the person who is in a sanghi condition. Outside, when we look at them, they both look exactly same. They both seems to be behaving in exactly same way. There is no difference. Both of them enjoy the life. Both of them get married. Both of them, have families. Both of them enjoy the worldly happiness. Both of them seems like they are enjoying the sensual happinesses. They are all eating good food. We see them doing exactly same thing. So we cannot differentiate the difference between yogi and bhogi, or so-called sanghi. So this is kind of a challenging for normal people to identify how the yogi is behaving, and that is why it is becoming challenging for them how to behave like a yogi, because they behave exactly same way how the sanghi is behaving. And so going further, then we talked about how the connection of the world is to be by yoga and not by the sangha, and this gave us a clear guideline how to work every day while interacting with the world. This keeps us motivated and focused on our actions, irrespective of the results. It is also when we do the retrospection. And so while doing this, yogi doesn't work in a most efficient way? They do. Rather, they do more efficiently, because their direction, their cause, their reason for working, for doing the action is not the results or the fruits of the action. Their behavior is dependent on how they love to do the work, the karma, and that is why their actions are more better. They are more giving even better fruits, and they are more motivated and happy. And they also do the retrospection. They do the correction, planning. Everything is done. When we like to do some job, last time we talked about it, the referencing. When we like to do some job, we will always do it in the best way. When we do not like the job and we do it only for the karma phala, then there is a problem. And that is where God is telling about the 49th sloka. Durena yavram karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya buddho sharana mavicha krupana phala. So God is now explaining that krupana phala, that is where we stopped last time, that any work which is focusing on the outcome, any work which is focusing on the fruits which we are going to get from the action is krupana, is lower quality, is not what is sought for from a human being. You work for your work, you do not work for the fruit. Because the moment we look at the fruit and work, our complete focus moves from the work to the fruit. And when we are looking at the fruit, naturally, it has got three things. Number one, the fruit is insufficient. Number two, the fruit is not in time. And three, it is not in proportion of my actions. Every time anybody who has got maximum success in their life, ask them, are you happy? They will say, no, I needed more. I worked hard, but it didn't give me more. We always find it. We always hear it. Why? Because the focus is on the fruit and the focus is not on the action. That is where the yogi does focuses on the action. Buddhi yoga dhananjaya durena yavaram karma. God is telling, when we are working, whether the yogi with samatha, equanimity, When we work with that, then it is much better than sakama karma, the work which we are doing for the fruits. And that is why God is telling you take the ashraya, buddhi yoga dhananjaya. You take the ashraya. You do not work as a phal, as a hetu, as your objective, as your reason, as your cause. Do not put the phalam, but put the actions. That is where we stopped last time. So we will go further on it. So I will chant the 58th sloka, and because these slokas are in sequence, we have to remember that first God is telling us what is the difference, yoga and sangha. Then God is telling what is a better way, which is by yoga, and now God is explaining it further. This is extremely important. These are the important slokas of Sankhya Yoga. These are very important slokas of Sankhya Yoga, because this is exactly explaining us how we are supposed to be behaving or looking at internally to ourselves when we are working and interacting with the world. So this is these are the slokas and they are in sequence. So God told the 50th sloka now, second chapter, 50th sloka. I will chant the sloka first. Buddhi youkto jahatiha ube sukruta duskrute tasmat uddhaya yujjasva yoga karmasu kaushalam. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. This is very interesting, because in Sanskrit, the language, we can change the words and it will still mean the same thing. So we will look at this word. Buddhi yukto jahatiha. Buddhi yukta. Endo with wisdom. Number one, the God is giving importance to the buddhi, the intellect. God is not giving importance to the mind. भगवान मन को नहीं, बुद्धि को महत्व देते हैं. God gives importance to the buddhi. In Sankhya Yoga, God is telling, use your intellect. Buddhi yukto jahatiha. Endo with this wisdom. Which wisdom? To understand how to connect as a yoga and how to connect as a, not to connect as a sangha. When we are endowed with this wisdom, who are doing this practice prudently, ube means both sides, sukruta, duskrute. So God is knowing sukruta, a good and bad, good and not good actions. So God knows that we will be having sometimes good actions and sometimes we will be doing bad actions. It is not that everybody is doing good every time. It is not that God is telling you do good every time or you will be able to do good every time. God doesn't say that. We are all humans. To err is human. So God is telling here very clear word. Ube sukruta duskrute. Sukruta duskrute. Good and bad deeds. Even if you are doing a good deed or a bad deed, knowingly or unknowingly, even if you are doing good or bad deed, in both cases, buddhi yukto jahatiha. When you are using your intellect while doing those actions, you will be getting rid of it. Jahatiha. You will get rid of. What you will get rid of? Tasmat yogaya yujjasva. Yujjasva. So you strive yoga karmasu kaushalam. When we are doing the work with our intellect, we will get rid of. One who prudently practices the science of work without attachment, that means without sangha and with the intellect, can get rid of both good and bad reactions in his life itself. In other words, when we are doing the work with our intellect, anything which is good or bad, we will be getting rid of the actions, the karma phalam. Whatever karma phalam we get, even if it is a good deed or a bad deed, we get rid of the phalam part of it. We get rid of the reactions part of it. We get rid of the fruits of it. So when we are using the intellect, we are getting rid of the fruits which may be coming out of a sukruta or duskruta, a good or a bad deed. How? That is why tasmat buddhaya. Tasmat, that is why you connect, you connect, you strive for yoga, connecting. That is why you get connected through the yoga. This is very important. Yoga karmasu kausalam. Now this yoga karmasu kausalam, When you strive for yoga, that is art of working skillfully. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. Now this yoga karmasu kaushalam has got two meanings in it. In both ways it is correct. So number one is getting rid of the good or bad deeds does not mean leaving the work. When we say getting rid of, that means we are leaving something. When we say I got rid of my, the junk in my backyard, that means you left it. Here, in this case, God is not telling us that you get jahatiya. Getting rid of is not the getting rid of the actions, getting rid of the fruits, but getting rid of the connectivity to it. And that is why it is telling getting rid of good or bad deeds does not mean that you are leaving the thing. We are not leaving the actions. What is the important part here? The important part here is that because of this method, people do not have to leave the world. Most of the religion, as we have seen, and in many cases, many of the religion and sampradayas, they say that if you want to get the moksha, if you want to get the nirvana, then you have to leave the world. You have to leave the actions. You should not get married. You should not have family. You should not be doing a job. You just wear some very simple clothes, or you may not wear any clothes, and you leave the world. God is very clearly telling here, Sukruta, Duskruta, even if you are doing good or bad, both cases, you are not leaving it. Keep doing it. But while doing it, you do it with a yoga, the method of yoga in your mind, your intellect. Intellect should be connected with the action. So that is very important part, because there are so many schools of thoughts which are told, oh, you want to get moksha, you want to get nirvana, you have to leave it. And then there are so many people who are leaving it also. And the funny part or unfortunate part of it is, people who leave those things are considered as a pious people. So those people who cannot leave because of one or the other reason, what do? They respect those people who have left the world, or who have left all those what is called as the sansaric sukha, the worldly happiness. God is telling, no, anybody can get a liberation by doing the buddhi yukto jahati. In this world, while working, while being in the life, while enjoying the worldly sensual happinesses, you can still get the liberation. There is no need, there is absolutely no need to leave the world. There is absolutely no need to say that unless you leave these fruits, unless you leave this world, you will not be able to get the liberation. That is incorrect. God is very clearly telling here, it means that the person is more concentrated to perform to the work and not to the fruit. That is how the actions should be done. And then whatever action we are doing, good or bad. Sometimes we do bad actions also, knowingly or unknowingly. We have to sometimes take harsh decisions, which may be injustice to some other people. We have to take it. We have to do. What happened in Mahabharata? Bhishma Pitama and Arjun were fighting in the Kurukshetra. Naturally, Bhishma Pitama was not a defeatable person at all. He was not only a very highly skilled and highly totally highest technology, but also he was having a boon that you will not die unless you want to. How can you kill a warrior like that? So finally we all know the story that Arjun had a shikhandi in front of him, and Bhishma had decided that he will not fight with the women, and shikhandi was a woman in the previous birth. So Arjun fought with the arrows after hiding behind the shikhandi. Very practically it is not correct. It is not as per the rule at that time for the war. You cannot hide behind somebody and then fight with me. Come in the front and fight with me. So sometimes, but for the better and good of the masses, you sometimes have to do even wrong things also. You are compelled to do when you are in that position. So that is why God is telling us here that in both cases, whatever work we are going to do, when we are concentrated on performance of the work, performing of the action, and not doing and not looking at the fruits, and we are getting rid of all the good and bad deeds, the fruits of it. Now, and then God is telling yoga karmasu kaushalam. Yoga karmasu kaushalam. This has got two meanings. And it is very interesting, as some people who know Sanskrit will be more, happy to understand it and kind of get it. So, yoga karmasu kaushalam has got two meanings. That yoga is the skillfulness. That is number one. Yoga is the skillfulness to do the karma. In other words, when you are doing a karma, if you are doing the karma as a yogi, through the psychology of a yoga, through using your intellect and getting yoga into your actions, that is a kaushalam, that is a skill. So, doing the action through the method of yoga is a kaushalam, is a skillfulness. This is the one meaning. Doing the action as a yoga is a skillfulness. But there is also a second meaning. And the second meaning is yoga karmasu kaushalam means when you are doing the work as a yoga or as an intellect connected with your actions, it will be the best skillfulness you will be able to achieve. In other words, you can best perform, you can do the best performance only when you are doing the actions as a yoga. You can do your performance best when you are doing the work as a yoga and not as a bhoga or sangha. Because a sangha is focused on the fruit, and fruit never satisfies a person. So yoga karmasu kaushalam is both ways. One is that doing the work as a yoga is a kaushal, is a skillfulness. And second is when we do the work as a yoga, we will be highly skilled in doing the work. That is what it is. We see that students who go for the exams, they get marks. The subject which they like the most, they don't need not to do much effort in it. They need not to do much effort. They just work on it and they get good marks. Why do they good marks? Is it because of lot of effort results into good results? No. They like it. When they like it, they automatically put their skills. They automatically exert their best efficiency into doing those actions and they get more marks. In Hindi, if we say, sometimes it is easier to say in Hindi because it is Sanskrit, it is better and easy to translate it in Hindi than in English. But so व्यक्ति अपनी क्षमता और कुशलता का सबसे ज्यादा उपयोग वहीं कर सकता है जहां उसे फल की इच्छा ना हो. When we are not aspiring for the fruit, the quantity, quality, timeliness of the fruit, then we can exert our best efficiency and skill. That is also the meaning of the yoga karmasu kaushalam. We have seen that there are so many scientists who have done great inventions. When they are asked, when you did all this hard work for 10, 20, 30 years, Marie Curie, Pierre Curie, they invented X-rays. So they were asked that you were doing this work for 20, 22 years, 20 years, 25 years. They are not looking at the fruit. They are interested in how can I find this? How can I unreveal the Prakriti, the secrets of the nature. Prakriti ke garbha mein raha hua, the secrets of the nature, how I can unreveal. That is there in their mind. And then in various sciences or in various art, anywhere, they want to unreveal. They want to unreveal the secrets of the nature. That is what they wanted to do. And that is why they could exert and give the best of their efficiency, not looking at the fruit. What will happen after we invent the X-ray? I don't know. I just invented the X-ray. This is how how I unrevealed how the world is working, how the nature is working. Not looking at the fruit, and that is why they could see very easily that their performance was best It was the best skill. That is why yoga karmasu kaushalam. And the other meaning is, when we do the work as a yoga, it is the best way to do kaushalam. So these are the two meanings. And the person who uses the intellect to perform the work, there is a growth and invention. We will take an example, two examples. One is when a person is putting the heart in the work. What happened that one day Akbar and Birbal, this is a story of Akbar and Birbal. So one day Akbar went out, in the city to see the various things. He was going regularly with Birbal. So he went out. And he found that there was a guy, he was a saint, and that saint was having a quilt, a chadar, a quilt which was excellently embroidered, excellent embroidery in the quilt. Akbar thought, oh, I do not have the quilt of this quality. It is made Gadi, chadar. I do not have that with this quality of the stitches, this quality of thread, this quality of art in it. So he asked the guy that who is the person who made it for you. So the saint told that, oh, I've got a guy who is making the quilt. This is the guy, he made it for me. So Akbar thought, okay, fine. So I'll ask that guy to make the quilt for me. So he asked that quilt maker, can you make a quilt for me very similar to which you gave to that saint? And this guy told, yeah, why not? You are the king, I will make a quilt for you also. So he made the quilt and he gives it to Akbar. And King Akbar is looking at it and he's telling, this is a great quilt, this is a very good quilt, but it is not at par. It is not as good quality. I cannot see those qualities which you gave to that saint in this quilt. So can you make another quilt? And this guy says, okay, fine, I will make another one. And he makes another one. After a month, he comes back with a more better quilt. And he is now giving that to the king, that, okay, king, this is a quilt for you. And Akbar is telling, you are making it, but you are not making it to that good quality. I told you to make equal quality or better quality than one which you gave to that saint. But you are not making it for me. Why you are not making it for me? Make another one, and if you do not make this time the good quilt or better than that, I am going to kill you. And that is what Akbar was. Anyway, so this guy goes back and he makes another quilt and comes. And when he comes, obviously that quilt is also not at par with the quilt which is given to the saint. So Akbar was furious. Akbar is telling, what nonsense is going on? You are not making it for a king. I am the king. I am ordering you to make the best. And you are not making it for me. So I am going to kill you now. You are not following the rules of the emperor. Yeah, we are all in democracy. We do not know what is a kingdom. Anyway, so this quilt guy is telling. He is telling that king, I am putting my best skill. I am putting my best effort. I am using the best threads. I am using the best art in making the quilt for you. But I am sorry to say that I cannot make the quilt of same quality which I gave to the saint. He is telling, why? Why you can't do? He told that I am making the quilt for the king and I will be paid for it. And I am also I am afraid that if I can't make the quilt in a good quality, the king may punish. But with the saint, I have love in my heart. My whole heart, my whole soul is to serve the saint, to make a quilt which will give him the warmth in the winter. I respect him. I admire him. I honor him. And so when I make the quilt, with that thing in my heart, the quality of the work which comes out of my fingers, I cannot repeat it for a king or an emperor. Why? Because my heart is not there. So, yoga karma sukhaushalam. When we work with the yoga, our skills will be the best. When we work with the fruit in the mind, our skills are never the best. They are always lacking. And that is what the God also told in the previous sloka. When it is saying, Krupana phala hetava, when the hetu, of the actions, when the cause and the object of the actions is phalam, then krupana, it is lower quality than the buddhi yukto jahai. So these are three slokas in sequence. So another one we will take the example where a person is looking at the thing more objectively, or with more brain, with more yoga. Is an example of a teacher and a student. What happened is this old time, and there was a teacher for arithmetic, a mathematics teacher. He was teaching arithmetic. So this teacher is it's an old time, a village school. There are 10, 15, 20 students over there, and the teacher is also not much kind of interested. He has to also go around, and this is a small school. So teacher is telling the students that, guys, you do one thing. You add, I'm giving you arithmetic problem of summation. So you add 0 to 100 and tell me what is the total value of the sum. So you add 0, then 0 to 1 is 1, 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 3 is equal to 6, 6 plus 4 equal to 10. So you do the summation. Now teacher knew for so many years, even teacher himself has done in the same way, that this is going to take 3-4 hours easily. So all the students will be busy and he can easily relax. He can even take a nap in the class, no problem. And all the students will be busy. How quickly I can do the summation. And he used to do it for so many days, years. And all the students used to also do the summation in the same way. Now, on this specific class, on that day, the teacher asked the class same question. You do the summation from 0 to 100, and he is comfortably sitting. He thinks that, okay, now I can take a good nap, afternoon nap. He's thinking that. But to his surprise, a student comes to him and says that, sir, I have done the calculation. And he's saying, no way. There is absolutely no way a student has done this before and you also cannot do the summation. Show me what you did. How did you make the summation? Because your answer is correct. So the student is telling that instead of adding 0 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, what I thought, remember, when we say what I thought, means he has put his heart into it. He has put his complete skills into it. So he says that I thought that 0 plus 100 equal to 100, 99 plus 1 equal to 100, 98 plus 2 equal to 100. So I thought how many pairs of 100 I have got between 0 to 100. And I just added those pairs as 100 plus 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 plus, and I come with this answer. Teacher in his whole life never thought that this can be a method of summation. Even teacher. When he was a student also, he used to do the summation in the same way. He never thought in his life. Why? Of course, the teacher was very honest. So teacher told the student that, you know what, you've got much better brain than me. You are putting your heart much better than me in the arithmetic. I am not a good teacher for you to learn from me. So you go to this university or you go to this school and you study further, because that is where your brain will be utilized much better way. Anyway, the message is that why could that student identify the problem and resolve the problem in a much better way than the teacher who had been doing it for years? Because teacher is interested in the salary. Teacher is interested in how comfortably I can live my life by doing the job of teaching. Whereas the student is interested in how better way I can perform my actions. Rather than doing a kind of a donkey work, a drudgery work of 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, is there a better way to do the summation? Where does it come from? It comes from buddhi youkto jahahita. He puts the intellect into the work. When we put the intellect into the work and not looking at the fruit, how quickly I can do? Why couldn't other students come out of it? Come out with a similar way? Because they thought that how quickly we can resolve it, and then once we resolve, we can go for playing. How quickly I can do. They never thought how intellectually we can do this. How more better way I can think about it. And who can think about a better way? Who are interested in arithmetic. That is how the student came. So these two examples. One is where we put the heart into it. So both sides. Where we put the heart, where our intellect is telling this is the best. The saint is the best. The saint is there who is working for the society. The saint is there who is working for a betterment of the humankind. So I will respect him. Out of that respect, when the guy makes a quilt, he makes the best quilt. The saint is not going to pay him at all any money for sure. That is what you get. And same way for the student. So we can see two examples where in science or in a non-science area like a quilt, in both cases, a performance, yoga karmasu kaushalam, a performance can be best when we work, when we connect with the actions as a yoga. This is what it is. That is what he is telling. So there are two meanings out of it. The same sentence has got two, but both ways, finally they result again into the same way. That while you are doing the work, do the work as a intellect, as a correct, as a yoga. So we will go further in the next sloka now. That if it is a yoga and if we can exert the best skill, then how we can, but how to achieve that? What is the method of it? How not to get into the sangha, but how to get into the yoga. So we'll go to the next sloka, 51st sloka. I will do the chanting first, and then we will go further on it. So I'll chant a second chapter, 51st sloka. Karmajam buddhi yuktahi phalam tyaktva manishina janma bandha vinirmukta padam gacchanta namayam. So many important words here. Karmajam buddhi yuktahi. Karmajam buddhi yukta. Again here there are two parts. Buddhi yukta is doing the karma in that way. One who has got that intellect, the wiseness. Manishi, that is the word, Manishi word is here. So the wise endowed with equanimity of intellect. Buddhi yukta, one who is yukta with the buddhi. Then we say everybody has intellect. Everybody has got yukta means who is bestowed with. So we say that everybody has intellect. Are we using our intellect? Einstein sometimes once he told that we are hardly using 2 or 3%. I don't remember exactly. 2 or 3% of our intellect all through our life. We don't use the 97% of our intellect. A scientist who is proven to be the best scientist in the world, such an intelligent person, is telling that I am hardly using 2 or 3% of my brain. So here it is telling buddhi yukta. One, it's not, yukta word is very important because here sometimes it is seen as bestowed or given. But yukta means you are utilizing it. If we are given something and we do not utilize it, then we are not having it. That is what the word yukta in Sanskrit means. Yukta means you have it, but you also consume it. You use it. People who have got intellect, they don't use it. Then you are not with the yukta. So buddhi yukta means you have the intellect and you use the intellect. That is a person who is called as a buddhi yukta. Buddhi yukta karmajam, born with fruitive action. We are born with fruitive action. Prakriti is making us a person who is with the fruitive action. We are always with the fruitive action. Anybody, even if the child, when we are young, it is always that when we are born, we are told that you do this, you will get this. Carrot and stick. Mama tells us, if you do this work, I'll give you a chocolate. So we learn that in anything in our life, we should have a fruit. But when we are buddhi yukta, karmajam, we are born with fruitive actions. The wise endowed with equanimity of intellect, means buddhi yukta, abandon the attachment to the fruits of actions. Falam Tyaktva manishi. Manishi means one who is bestowed, who is given, who is utilizing, who is endowed with equanimity. He is the person who is using his intellect and he is doing what? He is doing Falam Tyaktva. This is the most, again, a very deep and completely misunderstood. When somebody says Falam Tyaktva, that means whatever actions you do, you get the phalam of it, you get the fruits of it, and you tyakta, chhod do, phal ka tyag karo. Karma karo, phal ka tyag karo. So we all think, if I am going to do such a hard work, I am going to do all this, and I have to just phal ka tyag. You imagine at our home, suppose there is a lady, there is a person who is cooking the food because everybody is hungry. They are cooking the food. And after cooking the food, when people are hungry, we say that Falam Tyaktva, you have cooked all this food, you throw it in the garbage. Is it okay? We cannot. We say that, okay, I studied this course, I studied this, but Tyaktva, chhod do. So what is the meaning of Tyaktva here? Falam Tyaktva, we will try to understand it. Here we have got Falam Tyaktva, and before we had got the word Sangha Tyaktva. Actually, these both things are one thing, two sides of same coin. Falam Tyaktva and Sangha Tyaktva. Sangha comes before the action and Phalam comes after the action. But they are both same coin, two sides. One who leaves the Sangha, one who does the Sangha Tyaktva, automatically he is doing the Phalam Tyaktva. And this action is done through Buddhi Yukta. That is how the equation is fitting in. One who is Buddhi Yukta, one who is connected with the intellect, will obviously not get into Sangha. He will not get into attachment, he will not get into the luring, he will be coming out of it. So he will be leaving the Sangha because he is Buddhi Yukta, and because he is Buddhi Yukta, when he is leaving the Sangha, naturally the fruits which are coming out of the actions, he will be leaving the fruit also, and that is why Phalam Tyaktva. So knowingly, Sangha Tyaktva means knowingly removing the subject from your head, from the intellect. That is this kind. But actions will be there and actions will bring the fruits. So when the fruits are coming, God is telling Phalam Tyaktva Manishini. So how can we do Phalam Tyaktva? When the results are coming, results will be there. How can we leave the results? How can we, and should we not use the fruits? Imagine a situation where we are telling that there is a village and that village needs water. So they are going to dig a well. They are all in a good shape, in good faith. They are telling that, okay, you know what, we will be all digging a well. But once the well is dug and there is a water in it, they will say, Phalam Tyaktva. Gita mein kaha hai, Phalam Tyaktva. Hum iska pani nahi piyenge. We will not take the water from this well. Why? Because our importance was only to do the action, but not to get the fruit. So action was good. The intended was that you focus on the digging of the well, but you do Phalam Tyaktva. So don't use the well water. Will it work? It's not practical. It doesn't seem correct. If you do not consume the water, why did you even dig the well in the first point itself? So what's the meaning here of Phalam Tyaktva? Phalam Tyaktva means what? Does it mean that we should not consume the fruit? Does it mean that we should not use the fruit for ourselves and other people? Does it mean that the fruits are bad and they are going to get us into attachment? So do not throw away the fruit. That is Phalam Tyaktva. What is Phalam Tyaktva? When we study, when we learn, we can do a good job and do our livelihood. We say Phalam Tyaktva. You go to a job, the boss gives you the salary, and you say Phalam Tyaktva. In Gita it is written, you do your karma, do not get the phalam, do not get the fruits. So don't give me salary. Will we do that? Can we do it? We can't. So what is the Phalam Tyaktva here? Tyaktva, anything to leave, doesn't mean to physically leave it. Anything to leave doesn't mean when we get disconnected with something, we have Tyaktva. Chhod diya. We have left it. We abandoned it. So when we are getting disconnected, we are anyway abandoning it. So it is not told, it is very clear here that you consume the fruit, but because you are Buddhi Yukta, you are not connected, you are disconnected with the fruit, and that is how you do the Phalam Tyaktva. Again, there are so many misunderstandings here. Daan de do. Yeah, there are so many people you will find. You give away the money. Paisa maya hai. Money is there for greediness, for greedy people. So give away the money. Daan do. It has got a different meaning. We will understand it. It will come eventually in Gita. What is dhanam? But giving away does not mean you are leaving it. Take an example in any institution. If there is a social institution, a welfare institution, people give huge donation. $5,000, $10,000, they will give huge donation. You ask him, did you give the donation? Yeah. Even 15 years before, they will say in 2005, I gave $5,000 donation to this institution. They still remember it. So even though they have given that money, in their mind, it is still my money. I gave my money to that social institution. So you have not left it. You have just given it. Like I have kept my money in the bank, I have given my money to this social institution. You have not given it. That is not dhanam. So Falam Tyaktva means what? And how can we do that? How can we disconnect with the phalam and still have the phalam? How can we disconnect with the fruit and still enjoy the fruits? Either through sensual happiness or for any matter, any other purpose. How can we do it? The number one part is, it is not mine. When the fall comes, when the action comes, when we identify that it is not mine alone, this is the understanding has to come. This understanding makes a person to get slowly detached from the fruits. This is a key. This is a small pinhole through which we can enter into that big area. That is how we go. So how do we do that? How do we get that? So there are some efforts, there are some stages, and we have to go through those stages. Let us take a very famous example of a shopkeeper. If a shopkeeper has worked hard all through the day, there is a shopkeeper who worked very hard, he worked all through the day and he made a good business, he made good money. Now while closing the shop, when he make a good money, he thinks, today I worked hard and I make good money today. I earned a good amount because I worked hard. It is my skill and my hard work which got me this money. This is the first step. Everybody thinks that way. I came to Canada with only $2 in my pocket, and look at it, now I got a big bungalow and a car. It is me who worked hard. We always put our purusharth, we always put our efforts, we always put our skills and work, hard work, connected with the fruit. To detach with the fruit, the very first thing is you detach your efforts with it. That is a buddhi yukto. So it is my effort. And then, thinking a little bit additional, a person will think, oh no, but I also had good employees. Today this employee, Mr. So-and-so, convinced the customer, who was a tough customer. He convinced the customer, and that is why I could sell this. I could sell this because my employee was good. My employee also worked hard. So in the fruit now, there is a share. It is me and my employees worked hard, and that is why we could make a good money today. Doesn't it seem a little better way rather than only me did it? And then we go further. Then he looks at the other people. Oh no, the agent was good. The agent brought good leads so that we can connect with more customers. And because of the agent also, we got more customers, and that is why we could sell more product. So it is not only employees, it is also contribution of the agents. And then he goes a little further. If he is a more thoughtful or pious person, or maybe God-believing person, then he will say, but my fortune was also good, because 3 days before, when I worked this hard, it didn't give me this much this much good earning. But today, with the same effort, I got it. So maybe my luck is also good. My fortune is also good. So people think that. But in that case also, he is sharing the fruit with the fortune. He is giving some part, some grace also to the fortune or to the his previous good deeds. That why my fortune is good? Because I did something good in the past. So again, it comes as a fortune, as a sharing. And in the last, if the person is really believing in God, he will say that, you know what, the God also helped me. In the whole case, in this whole example, basically the person is sharing. May not be sharing the fruit physically, but sharing it in the mind that I am not the only cause, I am not the only reason for this great earning, but also there are other people and there are other causes in it. So, number one is to share in your mind about the fruit. When we share in our mind about the fruit, it means we do not put the complete stamp of our efforts into the actions and the fruits. And that is the first step of Falam Tyaktva. When we leave the Falam, this is the first step. And it is told as a Falam Tyaktva Manishina. Manishina means one person who can do this is called as a Manishi, a wise person, a prudent person, a devout person. So again here for the wise we will try to understand. Is a wise person means he is one who is always winning? He is a wise person who is always getting the more and the best? No. It is not. A wise person sometimes loses. The excellent example of that in our is in the life of Sri Krishna, Bhagwan Sri Krishna. Bhagwan Sri Krishna, once he left the battlefield, we know, Ran Chod Raya Ki Jai. When he had to fight with the Kalyavan, it was a very strong enemy. He can't kill him. He knows it. So it is wise at that moment to run away from the battlefield. Jarasandha was always fighting with the Yaduvansh in Mathura because Krishna killed Shirupal, the Jarasandha son-in-law. So naturally he was upset that why did you kill my son-in-law? So Jarasandha was always attacking Mathura. So it was wise that you leave Mathura. When all the Yaduvanshi people met and they told that we will go and we will fight with Jarasandha, he told no. He has got animosity only to me and not to the Yaduvansh. So if I leave Mathura, then he will not attack Mathura, and all my Yaduvanshi brothers and all others, their families will be safe. So Krishna leaves. Why did Krishna go to Dwarika? Why did Krishna left Mathura and go to Dwarika? Because Jarasandha was attacking Mathura for him, for Krishna. When Krishna leaves, as we even see the geography where the Jarasandha was living, and when where Magadha, and then where the Mathura was there, and when Dwarika, he went to the utmost west coast, Dwarika near Gujarat, in Gujarat now. He went to the utmost corner of the land, so that Jarasandha will not attack Mathura. This is a wise way of doing. It is not that he is coward. It is a wise way. So always a wise doesn't mean winning. Wise doesn't mean always fighting and winning. Wise also means that you are doing the actions, or rather the wise means that you are doing the actions what is needed at that moment. That is wise. And Sanatana Dharma does not focus on the result. It focuses on the path and method. We'll take another example. Because see, this fruit is coming into the whole how Falam Tyaktva is that. There was a guy who was fetching the water from a pond to the village. There was a guy who was working for fetching the water. So he was having what is called as a kawad. We call it in kawad in our language. Basically a stick with a long stick with two pots hanging from ropes on each end. So he was carrying it and he was fetching the water. So he will go to the pond, he will fill up the pots, and he will come back to the village. And he was fetching the water. Now, he was doing it every day. He is walking along that big path and he is coming back, he is coming to the village. Now, what was happening is that one of the pot was little leaky. It was having a little crack in it. So, there was some dripping of water from that pot. So, one day, the pot which was all good told the pot which was having a crack. He told that, see, the final result, the outcome, the productivity. Yeah, we always talk about the productivity nowadays, especially in this part of the world. So see, look at it. the person is filling both the pots equally when he is coming from the pond. But when we reach the village, you are almost half. You are not productive. Your actions are not fruitful enough. You are not performing to the best. Your outcome is not complete. That is what the one pot told to the other pot. This pot told, yes, that is correct. You are right. When we are both filled with the same, basically we are both given same resource, and when we give the outcome, I give half of the outcome than what you give. But you also look at the other side. What is the other side? Because that pot is little leaking, there is a dripping of water all along the way from the pond to the village. There is a dropping of water, small droplets of water. Every time when the person is carrying it, because he is carrying it on the right, he is a right-handed guy, so he is carrying it in this way. So the leaky pot is on one side of the street, of the path, and the other regular pot, the common, the good one, is on the left side. So always this water fetching person is coming like that. So he is telling, look at it, the side on which I travel, there is a water dripping, and because of that water, minor seeds, small seeds in the path are getting water, and they come out, it blossoms as a flower, it comes out as a grass, as flowers. So the one side which you are coming through has not grown any flowers, but the side which I am coming through has got the complete flowers along the path. I may not be fully productive. I may not be fully giving what is resources are given to me. But the outcome is not measured only by the amount of water reaching the village, but also see that how you are traveling through. So the Sanatana Dharma is not focusing only on the results, but travel, how we achieve it, how we do it. This is more important than anything. End results are not important. Important thing is how they are achieved. Karma, that is what the karma. Karma ke upar dhyan rakho. Focus on your karma means what? Focus on your actions. Don't focus on the result. This is important in the life. People don't look at the focus on the action and see how that action can be done in the best. Falam Tyaktva and here the Falam Tyaktva doesn't mean you leave the fruit, but while working on that, how you achieved it. When we say that we achieved it, so when we achieve it in a way which is more betterment for more masses, then even if it is a small amount, it is great. Because we take the part, because we understand, we recognize the effort of other people, we recognize the effort of the society, the employees, the agent, in the case of the shopkeeper which we thought. We are understanding it, and that is what is buddhi. When we karmajam buddhi yuktai, phalam tyaktva manishan, when we do phalam tyaktva, that means we share. And this is in very normal language. People say that you share your fruit. You got so many things, you got so much resources, now you are already established. Share your fruit. And how to share? Through dhanam. And how to do the dhanam? In the temple. We will come to that. We will take that example. Why the temples are there? Why it is just to give through the temple? Why it is not to give as a one-to-one individual? What are the effects of that? Just like I gave the example. Yeah, you give a donation in a social institution 10 years ago, but you always say, oh, I gave this money, I gave this money, I gave this. You didn't do Falam Tyaktva. You still have the money in your mind. Oh, I gave my money, I gave my money. Yeah. Oh, they are not doing good work, I gave my money. You still have the money in your mind. You have not done Falam Tyaktva, even though you have given the money to the institution. So we will think about it again further, because there is a very important word coming here, anamayam. Padam gacchanta nyamayam, gacchantya anamayam. Anamayam is extremely important word here. Anamayam is devoid of suffering, kashto se rahit. How we can be devoid of sufferings by doing this method. Which method? Buddhi yukta, phalam tyaktva, sangha tyaktva. So we'll go along with that. We will come back again next Saturday, as every Saturday we are meeting. And we will go ahead on the 51st sloka further with the word anamayam. How to devoid the suffering, what is the suffering, and we will go further from that. Till that, I wish everyone a happy weekend, and I will complete my discourse today. Again, we will be meeting 10 to 11 at Durga temple every Saturday as usual. Vasudeva Sudam Devam Kansa Chanuramadaram Devaki Parama